How's it going, Dave and Comic Book Investments? So, got some stuff back from CGC, got some really interesting stuff, got a massive Silver Age Grail book, so stay tuned for that. But also got a very interesting book. If you have this one tiny little thing that's on it, it literally jumps up like 100x. Yeah, 100 times. It's crazy. Yes, I'll talk about it. You probably don't know about it. It's pretty rare. But let's just get into it. Let's see what I got back. I get stuff all the time. And this is not all the stuff. I get more than this. But check it out on collectorscomics.com. That's where all the stuff will be for sale. All right. First up is we got the second appearance of the Lizard. Right there. We got Spider-Man 44. Let's see where it's on this list. All right. I thought this was going to be a 6.5. It got a 7.5. So good there. $4.99. In case if you want to know what that number is, it's the price and the grade. All right. Next, we got the first appearance of Ocean Master. Aquaman, 29. This is a pretty good one. I thought it'd be a 7.0. Got an 8.5. $5.99. So some good grades. I have some bad grades too, but nothing too terrible, nothing too amazing either. Next, we got Batman 234, Neil Adams. Came back the way I was hoping. $3.49. Kind of like this cover of Neil Adams. I got a bunch of other Batman Neil Adams stuff as well. This one right here, this is not Neil Adams, or it is Neil Adams. My bad. But the cool thing about this one, it's a double cover. In case you don't know what a double cover is, it's where the machine accidentally put in two covers. You know what I haven't seen? Double insides. Or not just maybe double, like maybe a double page. I've never seen that, actually. Double cover is basically, you know, the machine's going through and it's putting on a cover onto the book, and it accidentally grabs two instead of one. But so, you know, they're not common, but they're not uncommon. I've seen triple covers. I've had quad covers before. There's some that go as high 6, so it's kind of crazy. But I've never seen like a double interior where maybe they have one interior, you know, they have 8 wraps or something like that, and they accidentally double up one of the wraps, so there's like 2 wraps, number 4s or something like that. Never seen that. I think I've seen upside down interiors. I've seen backwards interiors. I've seen a couple other, like, you know, weird things with interiors, but never double. Anyways, this is a double cover. What number is this? 246. Don't want to say the wrong one. I was hoping for a 9.0. Got an 8.5, so not bad there. $2.99 for a double cover. Still pretty happy. We got Daredevil 17. That would be an 8.0. Got 6.5. Let me look at this thing. Yeah, 6.5. I don't know. Maybe it was inputted wrong. Like I said before, this goes through many hands before it actually gets to CGC and comes back. So there's, you know, sometimes could be some errors. But yeah, 6.5. $159. This book right here was a resubmit. It came back an 8.0 originally. I disagreed with the grade. I was hoping for a 9.0, but I got an 8.5, so split the difference. Good enough for now. $269. There we go. We got an X-Men 11. I thought it'd be a 4.0. I got a 3.5, $209. And here we go. A massive Silver Age Grail book. A lot of people's like, oh, what's Grail? Grail just means, like, to someone it's their holy grail. Haven't had this book in a while. X-Men number 1. It's probably in the thumbnail, if that's what the thumbnail I used. Yeah, so this one is actually a bump. This one was a 3.5. I disagreed with the grade. Sent it again, 3.5. Disagreed again. Sent it in, got a 4.0. So, you know, persistence is the key. When I think something is something and it's worth it to send it in to get that grade bump, such as an X-Men 1, I will keep sending it. if it's, cost effective, if it's worth it. So there's a lot at a, sorry, my hair's on it. There's a lot at a 3.5 and below on eBay, so there's not too many at 4.0, so I'm happy I got the 4.0. This is listed for $16,999. Got a Turtles Adventure #1, first comic appearance of Rocksteady and Bebop. Came back to Rita, I thought, $149. These books used to be so expensive, and then they dropped like the stone. When people realized, oh, there's lots of them out there in high grade. What are you going to do? This is the #2. This is a 9.8, though, so that's pretty good. $199. Not too many 9.8s out there. There we go. All right. We're almost to that comic that's going to, for a little tiny thing, will 100x your money. All right. All-Star 58. Came back great, I thought. $279. First Madam Web. Popular book right now, especially when they're making that Madam Web movie, which would be interesting. I don't know why they're going that direction. I feel like there's a lot of other things to make before. Whatever. Could be good. I thought I'd be an 8.5, so it got a 9.2. $249. I got a whole bunch of these. I think I got like 10 or something like this. All different grade ranges. Spider-Man 252. Came back gray, I was hoping. $339. This one's interesting. Blade, the Vampire Hunter. This is during the time when they wanted to put like some kind of weird thing on every cover. So this is like some holographic whatever on the blades and stuff. I thought it'd be a 9.6, so I got 9.4. That definitely hurt me. So the jump was significant, but it's not. I don't think it'll get the 9.6. First appearance of Bullseye, Daredevil 131. He's even on the cover. I got a couple of these. Came back to rate I wanted, $249. Daredevil 168. Thought it'd be 9.0. Got an 8.5, $246. $246. Sorry. 269. 246. I was like that. Or wait, now I'm reading that wrong again. Sorry. 469. I'm getting all dyslexic, getting all the numbers. Whatever. It's funny. I saw it, and then my brain just said something completely different. Yeah, people are like, $200. Huh? All right. DC Comics Presents, #22. And what did I think it was? I thought this would be a 1.8 to a 2.0. Got a 2.5, so a grade bump there, but it doesn't really help that much. This one's up for $900. Now, you might be wondering, $900 for this book? That seems absurd. Well, let me teach you. So right here, we have a DC Comics Presents, #22. Nothing significant about this book, no first appearance, whatever, nothing. Most of these books in this run, minus 26, which is the first new Teen Titans, and then 47, which is the first He-Man. Most of them, beyond that, there's a couple here and there worth a little more with some Captain Marvel and things like that. But most of them are all worthless. They're not really worth anything. Barely at all. Unless you got like 9.8s, you might sell most of them for like $50. So why is this one $900? Now, normally this book, don't go out and start jumping around and buying this book up thinking it's $900, because it's not. Most of them that you'll find are worth about, like this one should be worth less than $1. Should be worth like 10 cents, right? It dropped in value since it came out, it was worth 40 cents. But in a 2.5, should be worth 10 cents. It's basically nothing. You should get it as like a free book. So why is this one $900? Well, if you look up here in the top corner, most of them will have, I believe, a DC logo or something like that. This one has a little face, a little crown, and it says Whitman. That is the Whitman variant. That is published by a different company altogether. During this period, what is this, 70 something? 1980, there is another company that published a few of these randomly, and they're pretty rare. I don't know exactly the full story on why they let them print a few of them. I think it had something to do with like educational something. I don't know. But anyways, so it's called the Whitman variant. There's like a Flash, there's a Superman Whitman variant, all sorts of stuff. The Flash one's pretty expensive. I believe this is the most expensive because it wasn't that popular of a comic line, so there's even less of them out there. I think there's only maybe like 25, 30 on the census of this, so it's pretty rare. But if you look up the normal edition, you look up and there's like 10 on the census. And that's the thing about the census. It's not everything, because just because I ran into this when I first started. I was like, oh my gosh, there's none on the census of this book, like 2. And so I sent it in, and we had the top grade, and it went for $50. And I was like, what? Why? It should be single highest grade. Just because there's not a lot on the census doesn't mean that there's not a lot that exists. Like a Fantasy 15, most all are going to be graded. So the census is pretty much probably close to 80 to 90% of all that exists. Something like this book, not the Whitman variant, or let's just take this Howard the Duck, for example. There's tons of these that are raw, ungraded, because A, no one cares to get them graded because they're not really worth sending them in, or B, they just have them and they're not really, like if you have a $50,000 comic, most likely you're going to know. So if you have a Fantasy 15 in your comic collection, most likely you know. If you have a Howard the Duck and like a 5.0, it's worth $20. You're not going to care. You're not going to even pay attention. So there's a lot of those floating around. There's a lot of books that might seem low on the census, but that's because a lot of people just don't get them graded. Like if this wasn't the Whitman variant, you're not going to get this graded. Maybe a 9.8, maybe a 9.6 at the most. But you're not going to get a 9.0 of DC Comics Presents 22 graded unless you think it's going to be a 9.8 and comes back a 9.0. That's a different story. But most likely you're not. So there's a lot of people that have this. I personally downstairs probably have like 2 copies of the non-Whitman variant, just thrown in a box somewhere, and then I'll put them in a lot and sell them. They're not really worth anything. But because the Whitman variant is very rare to get, it is worth quite a bit. So this book normally in this grade would be worth 5 cents, 10 cents. I don't know. I would put it up for $1 and no one would bid on it. So it's less than $1. Where that lies, I don't know. My guess would be like 10 cents. It's worth about 10 cents. But no one would want to pay the shipping on it. Like if someone was going through a $1 bin, maybe you sell for $1. Like if you didn't have to pay shipping. But because of the Whitman variant, it is basically 1,000 times more expensive, if I did my math right. I don't know. I'm not going to think about it. 100, 1,000 times. Yeah, 1,000 times more expensive if it's around 10 cents. So something to look for. Look for those Whitman variants. Right there. It's a little guy with a little crown. Maybe you found that interesting. I do. That is my second one I've only ever owned of DC Comics Presents 22. That, again, it says the most expensive Whitman variant. I've had like 2 of the Flashes. I've had a handful of the Batmans, a handful of Supermans. They're less rare, a little more common, so they're not worth quite as much. All right, moving on. Howard the Duck. Thought it'd be 9.2, got an 8.5, worth 109. Hulk 340. Everyone loves this cover. Iconic. Thought it'd be 9.4, got a 9.0. 209. So when people get like the newsstand variants, things like that, the Whitman variant, much, much more rare. This one was a good one. Iron Fist. Thought it'd be 8.0 to 8.5, got a 9.2. See, kind of all works out. $900. We've got this Marvel Spotlight, first Spider-Woman. Got a couple of these. This is the 8.5, thought it'd be an 8.0, so got an 8.5, $235. Secret Wars 8 came back to gray. I was hoping 9.6, $349. And the last book that we have today is a Nova number 1. Thought it'd be 9294, got 90, so not good there. 239. Yeah, I had probably like 50 raw copies as a bought a collection many moons ago, and had like 50. It had like 50 of those number 1s, all 90s and 98s. Had like 50 Savage She-Hulk number 1s, all 90s and 98s. Eternals ones, like 50 copies. Like all those, bronze, copper age, all like the number 1s. It had the rest of the run, but not as many. It was mostly just like 50 of like the issue number 1, and then a couple number 2, a couple number 3s, things like that. Man, I wish I had that collection today. That would be worth a lot, because at the time I was just selling these books and they were like going for like next to nothing. Like the Savage She-Hulk, I'd throw them in auction, selling 9 4s for like $20, 9 6s, $25, something. Maybe it was 9 8, like $50. Novas were a little bit more, but I had a bunch of the Eternals. This was before the movie was ever announced, and I would sell those Eternals for like $5 a piece. Basically nothing. If I would have held on to them for like 2 or 3 years, oh man, I would have made a killing on that. But you never really know what the future will hold. It is what it is. I was reading a Marvel comic book from 1982, and it was talking about collecting and investing in comic books. Pretty interesting. And they were talking about what is a good investable comic. This is 1982, by the way. They put Micronauts on the top of the list. Micronauts number 1 as a great investment. I guess at the time it was very popular. To me, Micronauts was never a thing. I know I ran for a bit, but it wasn't popular in my world. And then the funniest one was the top book, I think like bronze and copper age. They didn't call it back then bronze and copper, because that was just the current. It would have been modern for them. They did have silver and gold. But the top bronze and copper books that you could have invested in, I don't remember number 1. Number 1 was Daredevil 158, selling for $30. $30. That's what they suggested the retail should be for it. That was the number 1, Daredevil 158. Number 2 was Spectacular Spider-Man 27 was their number 2. That was $25. You know what else? Number 3, that also came in at $25, Hulk 181. Now, if you took their advice and bought all number 1 and number 2, you'd be screwed today compared to the person that bought number 3, the Hulk 181, just invested all in Hulk 181. That's crazy. Some of those, and then I think like Micronauts was somewhere on that list, and it was like suggested at like $5 or something like that. I can't remember, but I was like, it's worth $5 now. Like it didn't go up. So not all comics are investable. Not all comics will go up. It's just certain ones, and a lot of times it's out of your hands. When you are speculating on which one it will be. Now, if you just go for tried and true, you have a better shot. So if you just pick up a Fantasy 15, that's why they go for so much, because it's like, I don't have to think about it. It's like putting stock in Apple. It's like, okay, yeah, of course, it's going to go up. Like, could it go down? Of course, but most likely Apple's going to continue going up forever and ever. How fast? Probably not as much as a more speculative company, but same sort of thing. All right, that'll be it. I hope you learned something today. Again, check out our website, collectorscomics.com. Have a good day.